for centuries, right? What makes it really weird in this case is that she literally makes it her identity. Every outburst, every post is either somehow geared towards her married boyfriend or his wife. Will someone please help me understand, why are we wrong for pointing out the obvious, and why is it perceived as hate? So maybe her desperate attempt to dissolve her entire identity into a married man gives some of you hope, because I'm still trying to understand how that's being defended. But I want y'all to know that I see y'all, just like we see her unblended leave out. Now back to this cancellation of Black love. Papoose has been married to Remy Ma for 17 years. That represents 17 years of a blended family, shared business, music, love, and partnership. Together, they built an entire brand centered on Black love, not just as a slogan, but as a lived example meant to inspire the entire community. Now, even if their season has ended, that does not erase the contribution. It does not erase the cultural impact and the example set for a generation, or the history that shaped his public identity. And there seems to be an expectation of Claressa that we're supposed to look at Papoose and somehow not see Remy, and that we're meant to forget what he stood for and what he represented and the brand that he helped build with Remy. Baby, that's not how legacy works.
You know, we just locked in after that, honestly. Yeah. And he told me how he felt about me. I told him how I felt about him. And we just kind of went from there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I love that, man. I think we need more people that celebrate Black love.
I call it gold love now.
What's it called?
Gold love.
Okay.
Yeah, gold. Because gold never fades, do it?
So let's actually just break this down, because context definitely matters, right? Claressa is involved with the man who publicly branded himself, his marriage, and his family as Black love. And it was very intentional. It was not casual at all. He said it plainly in interviews, including his appearance on The Breakfast Club.
You know, get out of that.
You mentioned Black love earlier. I know Claressa's here as well, but I wanted to go back to that time period. I wanted to go back to that time period because I feel like for the longest time prior to your relationship, now you and Remy were like the emblem of like Black love, positivity, and then everything just switched publicly. And I know you talk about even in hip hop, like, you know, how things are thrown on hip hop and thrown on us negatively. When that moment was happening publicly with you and Remy, what was Papoose feeling? Because it was so positive for so long and it kind of just changed everything. What were you feeling as everything started to, you know, happen online?
It was corny. It was corny. It's always corny to do social media shit. You know what I'm saying? Who wants that? Who wants to be a part of the circus? So I just felt like it was corny.
You got attacked for Black love early on.
Wow, somebody said it.
No, you did.
Yeah.
No, we used to have conversations about what love and why we show love. And we had, behind the scenes conversations, but you got attacked for it. When you got attacked for it, why did you think you got attacked for showing and expressing love to the individual you were with? Like, why do you think that happened, and why you keep going?
It's a couple of different things. So initially, when she became incarcerated, they was killing me. Mm-hmm. They was like, yo, he holding her down. Nah, he's an idiot. He's down, all this bullshit, right? I didn't care though, because that was my real life at the time. Mm-hmm. And then as it progressed, one time Double XL had reached out to me and they was like, yo, we want to follow you one day and document your journey, like what's going on with you. And they followed me to the supermarket. I went and got groceries for her. You know what I'm saying? Then I went on the visit, brought the groceries. They sat on the visit with me and they put out that article. When they put out that article, it kind of changed. The outlook kind of changed for a hot second. Everybody was like, wow, they couldn't believe it. And it was cool. I kept going. But what you kind of talk about is when we did Love and Hip Hop.
That's when you think the change happened?
Yeah. Well, you had mixed. It was mixed. You know what I'm saying? Like the women were embracing it. But I go to the toll booth and I go get to do my money because they ain't have the
easy pass back.
Right. And he'd be like, oh man, you fucking on my household, man. My woman told me
by being a good man?
Yeah. My woman told me I need to be more like you. Like, here's a change. You know what I'm saying? So the dudes was always hating, but the women, older women, all different age groups, they always embraced it.
And then you did your own spinoff, the Black Love spinoff, which you guys had more creative control over at the time, right?
Yeah.
Why? So if you felt like kind of the tide was changing when you guys got on reality TV, why was it important for you to do that like second installment?
Because the opportunity was there to show more of us. You know, when you're on Love and Hip Hop, you just got like a segment. You know what I'm saying? So it was just that, people wanted to see more of us at that time. So we was like, all right, cool, let's do it. I think we did the holiday special first, and then it went from there. But going back to what you were saying earlier, like when I first shot it, I was like, oh, they about to kill me, man. When this shit come out, because people never saw that side of me. You know what I'm saying? But it was surprising. Getting put down, drinks getting thrown on each other, and just the bad stigma on our relationship. You know what I'm saying?
You ever regretted at all putting that much of your life on camera?
I don't regret it at all because it was real. It wasn't like nothing was rehearsed, nothing was scripted.
Narrative, you can't rebrand over a foundation that's already cemented.
How do you think the kids feel when you run around calling this baby the golden child? Like, what are they, bronze?
Now we saw in the preview, it was like upset at you for saying
they real mad.
Yeah, but it's not that. It's that they had their moment when they was kids. We loved them. We gave them everything they ever wanted. Now they have to be willing to share that with the golden child. Well, when you coming from the streets of Brooklyn, you know, and you grew up in poverty, you come from nothing. One of your main important goals is to make sure your kids don't struggle like you do. So,
and they're not struggling.
I was in them streets at first, you know what I mean? Before I got to this music, I had to make sure that they was well off, you know what I mean? And they had everything that they needed. But to answer your question, yes, because with the golden child, I'm not missing 1 second.
I'ma just let her stay small.
Baby bump. I get to see it every night, y'all. She like letting y'all see it, yeah, but it's good though.
Now, you didn't want to know the sex of the child.
No.
But Pat, you wanted to know.
Yeah, she tried to tell me I don't have the right to know, so I had to fight.
No, this thing's called HIPAA laws.
I had to go to war with her.
It's called what?
HIPAA laws.
So again, it's getting super, super corny with this gold love stuff. But even if, let's say, Pap embraced the golden love, let's talk about it for a second. Can we? Again, you cannot think that he will not constantly be reminded of the Black love it took to make the golden child. I mean, what are we doing here? Let's just segue over here for a minute. Lately, Claressa go somewhere and sit down. And even thinking about anti-Blackness, can we talk about maybe replacing Black love with gold love? Could that be considered anti-Black too? Not to mention, can someone please tell me, is it anti-Black to date a Black woman's husband? Is it anti-Black to threaten to fight the Black woman whose husband you are currently with? Is it anti-Black to kick Black children out of charity events? Is it anti-Black to encourage your sister to fight other Black people? Was it anti-Black to try and take some shade towards Angel Reese when she got awarded? Is all this anti-Black, or is it only anti-Black when something happens to Claressa Shields? Anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. I love to hear it. And if you like my commentary, please click like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't like it, you can still comment, you can still subscribe, because you're bound to return and find something that will entertain you or be of intellectual benefit.
Luxury water, Tough Shed, SMT Financial.
Something about that is literally giving me steroid rage, but I'm pretty sure I'm not right about that. Allegedly. But anyway, y'all know we have been studying Claressa Shields' psychology for a while, because at this point, this isn't just tea. It's literally a case study. There's a particular layer to her psychology that I have been sitting on, and not because it's insignificant, but because I want it to be precise. I don't do nitpicking. I do pattern analysis. And the most compelling part, we don't even have to speculate. We're going to use her words and the words of her associates. Muffins, let me ask you this. Does it ever feel like she's not battling the public and the bloggers, but that she's battling herself? Because when someone loudly declares one identity over and over, sometimes that's not them trying to empower themselves. That's literally them trying to internally negotiate their own identity. It's almost like she knows that she's being fake. So she's putting on this act and this performance in order to convince not only us, but herself of a certain identity. Let's get into this mess. Nyla says, and this isn't just a gossip channel. Over here, we analyze, we contextualize, and we weaponize wisdom. Because gossip is entertainment, but understanding is power. Because every scandal has a lesson. So let's get to it. What if this isn't about jealousy? And what if it's not even about competition? What if what's really happening is we're watching this woman struggle, not only with her femininity, not only with her confidence, but with her sexuality? So this is Jada. Jada is a former friend of Claressa. They actually live together, box together. They have a history. Now, Jada did introduce the topic of Claressa being bisexual way back then, but she's not the only one. Let's revisit this, and we're going to analyze this and kind of juxtapose it to Claressa's behavior. Let's go.
So you don't know what I had to go through those 5 months of living with her. Bro, do y'all know how uncomfortable it is to stay with somebody and they're always ordering sex toys? Yeah, this child always ordering sex toys, a bunch of little purple baggies coming to her house. And you're trying to, you should use this. You should do this. This helps me not stress out. Girl, get out my face. I don't even play them type of games. I'm not a spirit of confusion, bro. I don't do that homosexuality stuff. I said what I said. Like, men is supposed to be with women and women is supposed to be with men. I said what I said. I don't care. Ain't never rocked that way.
So this isn't the first time I've heard this. I've actually heard from multiple individuals, people either related to or closely associated with her, about these alleged menage a trois dynamics involving her friend Nigeria and her ex Tony Rich. And when you hear something once, that's definitely noise. When you hear it twice, it's coincidence. But when it's coming from 3 separate sources, that's when it becomes a pattern worth examining. But I do have to throw a disclaimer. You could have like 100 people repeating the same lie as well. But we definitely are peeping the patterns here. So let me be clear. I'm not here to police anyone's consensual adult relationship. That's not the point. The point is behavioral consistency. Because when certain narratives keep resurfacing and they align with publicly observable behavior, you have to at least consider the psychology. Because we cannot ignore something else that absolutely matters here, and that is the documented SA trauma. Trauma doesn't just disappear because someone becomes successful, gets a new relationship, or anything like that. It actually informs attachment, boundaries, and how sexuality is expressed. And sometimes what people interpret as boldness is actually some sort of dysregulation. Now, when you think about how like sometimes she says stuff that is just kind of like brass and like over-sexualized in an inappropriate moment, that doesn't automatically make her or anyone immoral, but it can signal that there's an unresolved trauma or some sort of identity fragmentation. Because sometimes when trauma isn't integrated, it shows up as a performance. It shows up as shock value. And sometimes it shows up as sexual bravado. And this is where it connects back to the Remy dynamic. Because if parts of your identity were formed in survival, and now you're in a relationship where softness is the currency, what do you do with the parts of you that don't fit the archetype? Let me say it another way. When a woman has a history of trauma-informed sexuality and then finds herself attached to a man whose blueprint is something entirely different, that creates tension. And tension always demands a resolution. Sometimes that resolution looks like growth, and sometimes it looks like identity suppression. So now we have to ask, is she competing with Remy or is she studying her? Because there's a difference between admiration and adaptation. And adaptation under pressure, baby, that can start to look like erasure. Who is she becoming, Muffin?
Do y'all know how uncomfortable it is to sit there and live with somebody, and because you won't do what they ask you to do, or because they hinting around for a threesome, not with just the one that you're with now, but the one that you was with before, the one that was in the house before, the one that you cheated on with to get with the one that you're with now. Yeah, because let's talk about it. I stayed there from at the end of May to September 27th is when I stayed with Claressa and was training with her and stuff. And once again, why did I stay with her? Because she asked me to. I didn't want to stay with her. I didn't say didn't want to, but I didn't ask her. I didn't say, oh my gosh, Claressa, I don't have anywhere to go. Like, oh my gosh. It was not that. You're trying to sit there and make it seem like you were like savior to me. Like you saved me from something, bro. It was nothing like that. You literally said you were depressed and it looked like it. Yeah, you were fat and depressed and you were over 200 pounds. And you always do this to people. She's done it to somebody recently. You always do this to people. You do people wrong every chance you get. And then when you're good, when you think you're good, because you're really cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs up here, Yeah.
So y'all already know this is not the first time that we've heard about her issues with relationship boundaries. We have heard multiple accounts from different people talking about this pattern of her moving in on someone else's man, even when they're related to her. And when you start hearing consistent narratives about someone crossing emotional or relational boundaries, whether it's a friend, acquaintance, or even within a family, that's no longer isolated behavior. That's a style, honey. In the Remy situation specifically, what made it striking wasn't just the romantic overlap, it was the proximity, the reported attempts at friendliness while simultaneously engaging with her man. That's not just competition, that's strategic positioning. And when someone repeatedly operates in competitive proximity with other women, that often signals something deeper than just pettiness. Some women just cannot have a relationship with a woman outside of it being competitive. It's just the way that they are wired. For instance, if you see that your mama is a hoe and that she will mess around with her friends' man, her cousins, her sisters, or whatever, think about how you're going to relate to other women as you grow up. You got to really think. Her mother was a clucker, right? And we know what cluckers do for money. Every man that they can. You know what I'm saying? So she probably absolutely grew up seeing someone very hypersexual, someone with no chill, and someone with absolutely no loyalty. Just really think about it. Her own mother, which is so hard for me to say this, but her own mother offered her up. So this had a lot to do with how Claressa viewed herself and how her sexuality was shaped.
Not you hitting around for a threesome and then you get mad. Why? Because I rejected you? Bro, I'm not gay. I don't roll that way. Just because I can fight, it doesn't mean that. I know a lot of girls when they play basketball, when they box, when they act very masculine, baby. Beside the ring, outside the ring, you will see me in the house. Cooking, cleaning. Oh, baby, that's not an insult to me. I love doing stuff like that. I love being feminine, because I'm a woman. I have no problem. Baby, I can't wait to be somebody's wife. What? Just because you done humped the whole Olympic team and whatnot, carpet munching and whatnot, doesn't mean I don't go, bro, I don't even roll that way. I don't got no experience like that. Never found another woman attractive. Bro, be for real. I just don't play. Like, make it make sense. I'm not with the confusion, bro. God is not the author of confusion. You want to get mad at me because I denied, because I kept rejecting you? Bro, I'm not one of them. I'm not the woman that you don't sit. No, I'm not one of them. Let me stop before I name more names. Anyways.
And let's not ignore the moment when a rival boxer publicly claimed to her face that they had been involved. Now, again, whether the allegation is true or not is not the point. The point is frequency. When all these similar narratives surface across different environments, former associates, friends, rivals, it literally changes how the overall pattern is interpreted. Because once you hear the same theme echoed from multiple directions, your brain stops processing it as random gossip. Instead, it starts processing it as potential behavioral consistency. And that shifts the lens.
Which you obviously do. The fact that our one got us here.
Yeah, sure.
The fact that we were both screwing each other got us here.
I didn't have sex with you.
You did.
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 It's the fact that I even gave you attention. I had to build
you up. You're joking. You lost the plot.
I had to build
your bed fell off.
I had to build.
Now, here's where it gets interesting to me. We have never witnessed her demonstrate sustained emotional regulation in high conflict situations before. She always escalates every single time. So if someone is publicly lying on your vagina, you gonna remain that composed? Girl, bye. We have seen her react explosively over business disputes, over interviews, and over perceived disrespect. Kind of like she did on Franchon. Emotional reactions aren't random muffins. They're proportional to what triggers us. So the question becomes, why does she lose control over reputation, but not over identity? She will flip the tables over branding, but stay composed when someone questions or tells her about her sexuality in her face. That kind of selective composure isn't accidental. This is very strategic. I think the white girl pulled her whole card. Literally, allegedly. And as I said since the beginning of this video, there have been multiple people talking about Claressa, quite frankly, playing for the other team, for lack of better words. Her relationship with her stylist, Nigeria, who's also her best friend, who frequently fights with her sister. We have heard from a very close relative of hers that there was a relationship, that she was having threesomes with her and Tony Rich. Now, of course, we don't have the proof of it, but I'm just saying it's all starting to add up.
Allegedly, of course.
So now let's discuss the dynamics between her and Pap. Nigeria and other women are constantly in the mix with them. Is there something going on? Is Claressa delivered? I mean, we didn't forget about what Papoose said about Remy having affairs with other women. Does he have a different capacity for these entanglements because he doesn't care for Claressa as deeply as he did Remy? Or is he just going along with whatever Claressa is bringing since she's attached to the bag? Or maybe he really didn't mind Remy being with other women. Maybe it was really because she didn't invite him to participate. Allegedly. Let's go back down memory lane and take a listen and be messy.
She's been home a couple years. I don't remember exactly what year it was, but she informed me, hey, such and such just came home, one of the individuals who she was locked up with. So I said, oh, okay, that's cool. But I remember the name from when she was away. I don't think nothing of it. Oh, this year, we always celebrate our birthdays together. Me, her, and the baby birthday, my birthday, our family. They all come around. It's like, that's how I was raised. So I'm real big on family. So this particular year, she says, I want to have an all girls party. So I'm like, okay. So you don't want me and the baby to come? All right. No, just my friends, all girls. I'm like, damn, that's a little, I don't want to say strange, but I was like, okay, we usually do it as a family, but this is cool. You want to have it with all girls. So she has the all girls party. I don't go. I flows back. The friend who was incarcerated comes to the crib. She attends the all-girls party, all the friends, cool. After that, we had like a little dinner in the basement or whatever at the crib. So this is the first time I seen homegirl outside of when they was in the penitentiary together. So I see her at the crib. Okay, she stayed for a couple days. She spent the night. Cool. Little activity was a little weird, but I didn't think nothing of that. Moving on along, she comes back to the crib on another occasion. So this time when she comes to visit the crib, every night when it's time to go to bed, she's telling me, oh, I'm gonna go sleep in the guest room with such and such. I don't even want to say this individual name because I ain't even trying to give her no clout. She's a extreme clout chaser. So I don't even want to say her name. So she tells me, I'm going to sleep in the guest room with such and such. I said, okay, that's cool. I sleep in the room by myself. Big ass crib, big ass room, everything. You know what I'm saying? Everything that I bought through the whole crib, all the utilities in my name. That's another story, but she fabricated. Moving on along, that's documented too, because I've been paying it out the same account for over 15 years, whatever, or more. Moving on along, I sleep in the room by myself. I don't think nothing of it. Next day, same thing. I said, damn, babe, you sleeping in there again? She like, yeah, I'm just staying with such and such, right? I said, all right, cool. Anybody in Bedford Hills, can you please step to the front? So now I'm like, damn, this shit weird. What the hell? You feel me? So at this time, I try to be intimate. I'm keeping it 100 with you. I try to be intimate with her. And she came in the bed with me. She hugged and kissed me, the whole thing. And at this time, I'm trying to be intimate with her. When it's time to go down, she slipped out of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, okay. After she do that, she go back to sleep in the room with homegirl this particular night. I said, something's fishy here. I said, I ain't no rocket scientist, but this ain't add up. You feel me? So I said, damn, something wrong, something ain't right here. So one time I had to go do something. I had to go handle some business. So I go handle business. I come back in the crib. It's a big ass crib. And they got like a long walkway to get to our bedroom. It's like a long walkway, and then on the other side is the other rooms. So I come in the crib. As soon as I walk in, I look down towards our bedroom. I see my daughter in our room by herself. I say, yo, what the heck? Where the hell she at? So I go up the other side, and when I tell you this is a big crib, so it's a long walkway. I go to the other side, I go in the room, she in the bed. I don't see homegirl though. It's like she booked it or something when I came. But I see a whole plate, peanuts, cashew, all these type of raisins all laid out. But my daughter in the room by herself. So I said, yo, why the baby in the room by herself? She made some bullshit excuse. Extreme liar. You never seen a liar like this in your life. I said, where homegirl at? She didn't even answer that. It was just like a weird answer. I pushed past that. Moving on along. I hate to say this, y'all. I hate to say this. But you want to know why she started having so much animosity towards me? Because I ended up finding out the truth, y'all. And I'm not saying this because it's a bad thing, but I'm saying this because, and when I say not a bad thing, because I don't judge people who live that lifestyle, but she has done a lot of bashing towards people who live that lifestyle and talk so bad about them and say so many foul things about them that it hurted her so bad that I knew the truth. So on another day, I caught her with this individual in our house while my daughter was on the bed with them. Ended up catching it. Now, this individual is a female. So I can't do nothing to her. I don't put my hands on females. Y'all want to know what I did? I told the individual, I said, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't put my hands on her because I'm not gonna do that. I don't hit women.
So Pap is telling us a lot without telling us a lot. He feels the need to tell us that he did not put hands on her. Why does he think that we would think that he would? It's because the thought is there. He must have had some very, very strong visceral reaction, and he wants to let us know that he's not violent. But why did his mind already go straight to violence? Anyway, doesn't seem like this is his cup of tea. So at some point, you have to stop asking if it's just a little drama going on here, or start asking, is there some sort of relationship agreement here? And like I said earlier, we can't ignore that Pap himself publicly accused Remy of engaging in relationships with women. That narrative came directly from him. So the question becomes, does he operate with a broader tolerance for certain dynamics, or does his tolerance shift depending on who he's emotionally invested in? Because when a man is deeply attached, his jealousy threshold looks really different. His boundaries look different. His protectiveness looks different. But when the attachment is more transactional, when there are career benefits, visibility benefits, financial alignment, the emotional rules can soften up a little bit. So, is he emotionally invested or strategically aligned? Is he regulating the situation because he's secure or because he's indifferent? Is this a relationship rooted in depth or utility? Because sometimes a man's capacity for entanglements doesn't expand because he's evolved. It expands because he doesn't give a damn. So when you step back and remove the noise, what you're really looking at isn't just drama. You're looking at a woman with documented trauma, repeated allegations that challenge her public image, and a pattern of competitive proximity with other women, and a relationship where the blueprint of the previous partner is very clear. And when all those variables collide, something has to adjust. If the relationship is strategic, if there are financial incentives, brand alignment, public visibility at stake, then authenticity becomes very negotiable. And when authenticity becomes negotiable, identity becomes very, very flexible. So maybe this isn't about sexuality. Maybe it isn't about jealousy. Maybe it isn't even about Remy. Maybe it's all about survival. Survival inside relationships, survival inside branding, survival inside an archetype that doesn't naturally fit. And when survival becomes the driving force, suppression starts to look like growth. Performance starts to look like femininity, and composure starts to look like confidence. But suppression, baby, it always leaks. And that's exactly why this pattern keeps resurfacing. So I want to know, do you guys think that this is something that she is struggling with? Or do you think that she's actually openly bisexual and we're just catching on? Which one is it? And is Pap okay with this? Get down in the comments. Let's talk about it. And if you like my commentary, please click like and hype this video. And if you don't like it, you still can come back. You still can comment because you're bound to return and find something that will entertain you or be of intellectual benefit.
Be straight. It's actually my natural hair. That's why I have. Have my edges covered up because I ran them out this morning. But you guys aren't used to me wearing my hair out, and I don't really like wearing it out that much either. I like it braided.
So y'all know the internet went off when what looked like a headband wig to the rest of us, she was decreeing and declaring was her natural hair. So some of y'all went to her comment section and wanted her to explain or either just let it go because it is okay. It is 2025. If Black women want to wear weaves, wigs, or whatever, that's just what we're going to do. Just so you know, Claressa has responded. She has a message for all of you that were doubting her hair. And quite frankly, she thinks you're dumb. So one of her followers went into the comment section and called her out on the natural hair situation. And the quote basically told her that she was stupid and that they were K-tips. K-tips, y'all. Now, most people that know me know that I am a retired salon owner and I did specialize in extensions. And K-tips was like kind of like my forte. I loved doing them. Do you feel like Black women or women in general, period, should be able to freely wear their hair in extensions, bald, or however they choose, natural, relaxed, whatever, and not be judged or ridiculed? And I also think that we should be able to wear things and express ourselves and not have shame associated with them. So I did not know why she had to sit there with unblended leave out and try and convince us that natural hair and K-tips are the same damn thing. So guys, respectfully, Claressa was trying to explain that the unblended part of her hair was her natural hair. And we should have never been trying to challenge her. But anyway, she wasn't done because she literally got a bit unhinged in her own comment section. Let's take a look. So y'all, as we scroll through these comments, here's one thing that I want you guys to keep in mind. This is a celebrity. This is, in her mind, the best to ever do it. Greatest woman of all time, 19 world champion, Olympic gold medalist, and she has reduced herself to arguing with, the rest of us, the poors, the commoners in the comment section. Where are her friends? And then there are people like what you see on the screen asking her, where's your advice team? And she said that they are agreeing with this, which is inspiration for the next video that I'll be doing. Or I'm not sure if I'm going to do it live or on a video, but we need to talk about what is going on with her professionally a lot more in depth, because I don't think people really understand how much damage Claressa is doing to her career. But let's get into it. Now, y'all, I really thought that we left Kim Kardashian when Kanye did, but no, leave it to the GOAT, and she is back in the group chat. Now, why does she have to respond with this? Child, Claressa, please. And through all of this, honey, we have still not heard anything from Pap. We haven't seen her regular braggatory ways where she's bragging about something. Baby, what did Pap get you for Christmas? The people want to know something, Muffin. Now, what she did do that was very regular and on brand for her was she showed her receipts, showed that she went to the Louis Vuitton store and racked up a $20,000 tab. I don't even understand why she thought that that was cool to do, even though, look, I'm going to tell you, I love to see Black women, including Claressa, having a luxurious life. I love the shopping. I love the self-care. But we just saw that little paltry Charlie Brown tree with barely any toys under for your niece and nephew, child. But you out here spending racks on racks on racks. But underneath this all, we have to understand that it actually is really serious. Ever see a truly successful, secure, and happy, validated in her relationship woman sitting in a Louis Vuitton store counting money like an aged rapper? And listen, y'all, this really brings me back to one of the earlier comments that I showed where Claressa was referencing these bitter baby mamas. I don't think Claressa realizes that her support base is largely comprised of bitter baby mamas. Because let's be honest, outside of people that are just boxing fans and that are looking past all of the crazy stuff that she does, Claressa represents a lot of things for a lot of different demographics. So for Flint, I'm sure she represents getting out of the struggle, making something out of your life, and staying steadfast on whatever it is that you're good at can get you out of the hood. And I think that is amazing. But let's just keep it a buck. She also is giving hope to another demographic of women. And those groups of women probably need a little bit more validation and stability. Now, we all know what I'm talking about. There is always a demographic of us who have never experienced anything soft. Everything was a struggle to the point where we identify with struggling. So this demographic typically will fall into the side chick category if their morals aren't in check. And what I mean is not the type that we all are familiar with, where you may have had a rough and you work hard, you do your thing, and you overcome. I'm talking about the type who are just like, I'm going to get it however I can, no matter whose expense it is. The type that would lay with another woman's husband. The type that will lay low and do some shady stuff in order to survive. They're literally in survival mode. And unfortunately, I believe that Claressa is exhibiting some characteristics that make her seem like she's still in survival mode. So yeah, she's putting out that she's confident and she's cocky and she's talking that shit. But if you really think about it, this girl is trying to survive. She is literally auditioning for a marriage. She's auditioning for a baby. She is auditioning for acceptance. Otherwise, a rich girl would not be sitting out in public counting bands in a Louis Vuitton store with Amazon boots on. I mean, I didn't have to say Amazon boots because I'm just saying that because I have the same boots and they came from Amazon. But you know what? I couldn't help myself. But anyway, let me know what you guys think down in the comments section. Do you feel like everything is okay here? Okay. Anyway, I'm Nyla. I'm out. I am your previously banned social media commentator, back and restored. Make sure you give me a like and a sub. I definitely appreciate it. It is lit. But before I go, I have to introduce you to LanoShopping55.com. Listen, this is the online store of one of my supporters, and it is amazing. Now, girl, you know we don't gatekeep over here. Get yourself over to LanoShopping55.com right now. And I mean now. Look at this price point for this cute outfit. Have we not been looking for a shop that, number one, is owned by a Black woman, but number two, actually has cute and affordable clothing? Yes, look no further. Honey, I was so shocked when one of our Vibers showed us the website. I was like, yo, how come we don't know about this stuff? But look, I'm putting you on.
Somebody said nice wig. You mean nice hair? Somebody said nice wig. You mean nice hair? My wigs be straight. It's actually my natural hair. That's why I have my edges covered up because I ran them out this morning. But you guys aren't used to me wearing my hair out, and I don't really like wearing it out that much either. I like it braided.
One thing about hair that I would not rock or buy for someone else, and the prices. The prices are amazing. The fashions are right on point. And what I really love about her shop is how inclusive it is. And when I say that, this is what I mean. You know how like all the sexy clothes are usually for the skinny chicks? Not on Lano Shop, honey. On LanoShopping55.com, even the plus size baddies get good looking gear. And the price is
turn me up. I like my money like I like my niggas. Green face card, never decline know what I mean.
Yeah, y'all want to drag me? I mean, I'm cool with it. Because, you know, some of y'all be in the comments dragging anyway. And I'd be like, girl, look, I be letting people live. I don't know why they don't know. Y'all better tell them I drag like a punk. But anyway, but I will tell y'all this. I'll give y'all a little bit of this insight that she gave me, but she was definitely going to give us some stuff that we have not heard, some more, you know, some more mess. So let me tell y'all this, and I don't know if y'all knew about this part that I thought that was really pressing. And you said we can kick and react to some videos. You know what? We can. Do you guys, do y'all know about her sister? But before we get into that, let me give this disclaimer, right? I know that there are people that are her fans, and it's fine. In a small way, I can definitely appreciate, you know, her talent and stuff like that. And nobody is here to tear her down. Nobody wants her to lose. We all want her to win. And I just don't have I don't have the understanding that some of y'all have, where because a person, y'all will never be able to weaponize my race against me. Okay. And what I mean by that is you will never be able to come here and say, I can't talk about somebody because they Black. That like, and that all other races of people don't talk about. Yes, they do. If you watch Lifetime, if you watch anything, if you watch the news, if you watched Cops back in the day, everybody talks about some, like, just because you're black does not mean we will not criticize, celebrate, or, give an opinion on something that is not flattering. So all that somebody's hating, ain't nobody hating, ain't nobody jealous. That girl is younger than my daughter. Why would I be jealous of a child? Not a child, because she's a grown ass woman. Why would I be jealous of someone that is younger than my children? You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's no hate in it. It's just commentary. We blog, and sometimes it's not cute. Okay. So, all that hating and Uncle Tom stuff, take that stuff. If you're trying to get dragged, keep talking that shit, because I will. Amen. But so yeah, stop that. Like, nobody's on that. And the whole, as a black woman, you should not talk about another black woman. Save all that. Because I would also say, as a black woman, you shouldn't be fucking another black woman's husband. I'd say that. Okay. So yeah. Right. Holding people. And then to be honest, I got you, Black Beauty. I got you. I'm so sorry. I forgot to get that for you. To be honest, Tatalicious, we really can't hold people accountable. The only thing that we can do is report, because we would have to be in some sort of position to make something happen. So, you know what I'm saying? To hold somebody accountable. So I'm not even on that. It's just understanding, breaking it down. She is a celebrity. She is a public figure. It is a lot going on. People are curious and people want to know. You know what I'm saying? And thank you. Like, thank you. We will cut. Look, we cuss Remy out too. Anybody can get it. In fact, the plan was this evening, I want to talk about this other shit. You know what I'm saying? Just because in this situation, a lot of us are Team Remy. Some of us don't give a flying fuck too. You know what I'm saying? But thank you so much. I appreciate that. She says, you look really young to have grown. Thank you. It don't crack as long as you don't. It crack if you do crack. Okay. Drink your water. Take care of your skin. Do your IV therapy. I'm big on IV therapy. Everybody knows that. But listen, yeah, stop. Ain't nobody hating on nobody. Okay. Ain't nobody hating on nobody. But listen, y'all. So let me tell y'all some of the bullshit that I have found out though. And I thought this was interesting, and maybe we should just go ahead and review some of this. But you said, Kiki says, I sent you the video of Pap and Claressa putting. Did you? You sent it to my email? Which email address did you send it to, Kiki? Said people are who they are if you can't handle it. Exactly. And then I don't know, like y'all don't have to. I know, like, people get upset when people report. I don't care, child. I don't care about that. People be mad all the time. People be mad. I'll be mad too. Okay, it's a human emotion, but it ain't nothing personal. So yeah, so we're gonna have to reschedule because she did. It is a very, very pressing matter that she has to attend to. So she won't be able to come through today, but we will get her another time. She is a lot of fun and she got a lot of intel. But let me tell y'all this bullshit. So, child, her sister, which I'll go ahead and show. I did post a picture of her, was that yesterday? Because I was like shocked. I didn't know that she was younger than Claressa. Obviously there's some issues there. And I'm gonna show you guys why. But listen, the sister told Papoose, allegedly, this comes from someone that was supposedly in the room with them. The sister told Papoose in front of Claressa that he should have fathered her children. What y'all think about that? The sister says to her sister's boyfriend that he should have fathered her children. My sister would never. My sisters, I got 5 of them, would never. Okay, so it's a yes. Yes, there's a lot of issues. There is a lot of issues in this family. Yes. She said that to her. Allegedly, child. Allegedly. Okay. Let me think of some more stuff that she was telling. By the way, the charity event, something that we didn't get into. she may not have as much support as we think in Flint, because I have been talking to people, and Shalita just sent me a message apologizing. So let's just send her some positive vibes, because it is a serious thing that she's taking care of, but she's still going to come. So, child, listen.
I got a video he sent me back in 2000 and was it 20 or something? So I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with. Well, I met him in July, and then after that, when you get to know a person, I knew her because we met July 6th at the court fight. Okay, which is crazy. We've been together over a year and a half now. It'll be 2 years next year in September.
Listen, there is nothing more dangerous than a woman competing with a wife that she claims to not be thinking about. And when you're locked in for a fight, you don't leak attention to jewelry. So why, 1 week before a major bout, are we watching a Temu remix of something the wife already wore effortlessly? This is not inspiration. This is identity drift. Now let's get into this bullshit. Welcome back to the Vibers, the Blue Heart Gang, Gang, Gang. And if you're just getting here for the first time, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, click those notification bells so that you can know every time I go live or when I do another upload. Because now we are in a relationship, and yeah, we got to get into this bullshit. I'm Nyla Says, and this isn't just a gossip channel. Over here, we analyze, we contextualize, and we weaponize wisdom. Because gossip is entertainment, but understanding is power. Because every scandal has a lesson. So let's get to it. So before we get started, y'all, please forgive me. Y'all know I'm out of town awaiting the birth of my grandchild. And honey, you are subject to hear chickens. Yes, I mean chickens, birds, and all manner of noise, including my other grandchildren running around the house. So forgive me, but we're going to get into this mess anyway. And again, I know everyone has reacted to this situation, but we bring a little something different to the table. And there's some things that I feel like people miss that we don't. So let's do it. And I absolutely know that this side of the fence is definitely not bullying her or harassing her or hating on her. I do feel like some people are, though, and that's their business. That's their problem. So once again, Claressa has given the trolls something to chew on, but for me, this is behavioral data, a psychological case study, if you will. So baby, listen, the internet was not shocked when she responded to Remy's camp, even though they didn't really formally address her. So if you don't know what happened, let me go ahead and show you guys what happened and what the response is and all of this kind of stuff, just for those of you that aren't up on it. But trust, this is not your average I'm just spilling the tea and reporting on Claressa channel. Honey, we break that psychology down.
These are gifts from my man. Okay. This is what I gifted myself. Little bracelet, myself. I love having stuff I ain't seen nobody wear before.
And just like that, the girls had to clock it. And baby, listen, what's so bad about this clock is that it is date stamped, okay? Way back in the summer, Remy was rocking and has always rocked the Van Cleefs and all this kind of stuff. So this was yet Another failed attempt at destiny swapping, honey. And it's quite old and quite pathetic. And I must say, Remy does wear it better. So y'all know Remy's old fine ass went to the Super Bowl decked out in a custom outfit and she was looking good. Her bestie Juju yelled out in the crowd, yo, this is custom. You can't copy that. And Remy concurred. And like always, Clarence's bothered ass took to the internet to just confirm something that everybody is saying, everybody is seeing, and that she can never get away from.
Let me say something. I cannot be copied. What I do is original. The number one. Copy this. Just stand straight and see if your ass make a pee. Talk to me. What we talking about?
So unfortunately, her ass did not make the pee, but you know what? She is like most narcissists where she doesn't realize that we all see it. And she really thinks that she can create a narrative out of what she says versus what she actually does. But that wasn't even the funniest part. The funniest part is actually right here. Again, shout out to Mr. Skinny TV because he definitely clocked it.
I might not be the sharpest knife in the drawer, but everybody's flooding my comment section talking about, but how'd you catch Claressa Shields capping in 4K? This is how I caught Claressa Shields capping in 4K. Then you can get in the comments and issue me an apology, or you can just say, oh yeah, man. But Claressa Shields said that she likes jewelry that nobody else has got, and she's 100% sure nobody else has this here jewelry. I'm gonna see what the survey says, man. And this is all receipts.
These are gifts from my man. Okay? This is what I gifted myself. Little bracelet, myself. I love having stuff that I ain't seen nobody wear before.
Well, here's who's already got it.
Now, baby, it's a shame that Mr. Skinny TV had to point that out, as well as many of the rest of us having to point this out. But what's even more pathetic, her saying that she doesn't like having stuff that someone else's has or had. Baby, you are literally with someone else's man. So, babies, come with me and let's rewind into Valentine's Day, because this is where the actual comparison Olympics really kicked off. So we already know that documenting everything is part of her pattern. Her engagement had to be recorded because he initially surprised her. And when I'm talking about engagement, I'm talking about to the first guy that she was with, Tony Rich. So she had to have that filmed just because she needed the internet to know. You already know that it's going down in this relationship because we've seen it, right? So boom, Valentine's Day come and there's a film situation going on, damn near a crew. Because under normal circumstances, love doesn't require documentation. But you know what does? Competition. We all saw where he was on Christmas. He was with his wife and his family. And we saw what happened afterwards. Baby, you know, she melted down. She acted a fool, bought her own gifts and everything. So this should not surprise anyone. So the Valentine's shenanigans actually seemed less like romance and more like a rebuttal to what we all know. And the helicopter sign was dramatic. Yes, it was, but it also felt very performative. It didn't feel like intimacy. It felt like a freaking scoreboard. There is a psychological pattern where someone competes for visibility instead of security. When you feel like you're not the primary position, you have to overcompensate publicly. You need bigger gestures, louder affection, more documentation. Because if the love is solid, it doesn't need witnesses. And that's exactly why this keeps coming across as the comparison Olympics. Christmas with the wife, Valentine's with the film crew. And let's not even get into the jewelry mirroring and the caption rebuttals. This is not romance, honey. This is competition. And whenever public spectacle gets this elaborate, you have to ask yourself, who is benefiting from these optics? The sad part about all of this is she doesn't have to do any of this. She's talented. She's accomplished. Baby, she is fully decorated. But when insecurity enters a relationship dynamic like this, it can make powerful women shrink into competitors. That's why you don't compete for no niggas' love and affection. And here's the part that people are missing. Not us, just them. She's not just competing with a woman. She's competing with a brand. Let me break it down for you. Remy and Pat built years of Black love branding. I'm talking documentaries, podcast interviews, major publication spreads, red carpets, reality television, social media archives. There are literally thousands of visual receipts of their romance. Baby, when you step into a situation like that, especially as the side chick, you're not just dating a man, you're stepping into an established emotional archive. And when the archive has been sold to the public as aspirational Black love, you are not just competing for affection, baby, you are competing with nostalgia. So Valentine's Day with a film crew doesn't feel random. It feels like an attempt to generate new footage, a new narrative, new memories to compete with the old ones. But here's the issue. You cannot outproduce a decade of organic branding with a few dramatic gestures, because established love stories aren't built overnight. They are layered over time, honey. This is why it keeps feeling like the comparison Olympics, not because she lacks anything physically, but because she's trying to outshine a story that's already cemented. And what makes this so sad to watch, she accomplished enough to build her own narrative. But instead of creating something new, she's trying to overwrite something that is frankly already established. And because they're not divorced, honey, it's already set in stone. You can compete with the woman, but competing with history, baby, that's a losing battle. And this is where I get concerned, because this stops being about Valentine's Day, and then it stops being about boots and coats and jewelry. And it starts becoming about her pattern. The pattern of comparison, overcorrection, and this pattern of trying to outshine an already established narrative instead of building your own brand and relationship for that matter. And so who among us is going to sit here and look at this setup scene with her in the fur and the boots and the jeans and the tank and not see Remy Ma in the equation? It's so pathetic and obvious. The way she gives us vloggers the layups to drag is just crazy. And I'm not even dragging. But anyway, shout out to Mr. Skinny TV for this layup right here. Go ahead and check him out. Subscribe to his channel. He is here on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Go ahead and help us out a little bit, Mr. Skinny.
Claressa Shields wants y'all to know that she got a big old butt.
32, 33. That's the waist. And then we go around the butt. I'm gonna start from in the middle. Yeah, that ass fat, girl. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's like 44. So I know I lost a couple inches because, let me go to the big part of the butt. Let me go down here. See, that's the part that go off the widest. Let's try that. Girl, boo. It ain't gonna change. It did, because it's a different part of the butt. Yeah, so around my actual ass is a 45. So it's like 32, 33 up here, and then 44, 45. For 44, then it gets bigger with the 45. So yeah, that's my measurements.
Let me tell you something. I cannot be copied. What I do is original. The number one, copy this. Just stand straight and see if your ass make a piece. Talk to me. What are we talking about? The originator, the one. The one. No worries. Y'all all get turned to your last book. Every last one of y'all. Yeah. I ain't saying no name because your name don't matter. Can't none of y'all fuck with me. Copy this. Copy it 1, 2. Can you do that? I got something for you. How many put that on my throat? Count these.
Now, I don't know which one of us is going to have to tell her that that ass is actually average at best and it's not doing what she thinks it's going to do. Now, I'm not one to be body shaming or anything like that, but Claressa's antics literally put you in a position literally to judge. She is literally forcing it. And honey, I try to pass it up, but most times I can't. Every attempt to prove superiority ends up reinforcing her insecurity. The louder the display, the more obvious her doubts are. Every attempt to prove superiority ends up reinforcing all of her insecurity. The louder her displays are, the more obvious her doubts are. When you have to keep announcing that you have the better body, that you're T, and that you're the better woman, you're the better upgrade, baby, you're not winning. You're just campaigning. And listen, I've said this from the very beginning. Unchecked, insecurity will sabotage talent every single time. Claressa is gifted, she is disciplined, and she is accomplished. But if this comparison Olympic continues, it won't be punches in the ring that damage her career or her brain. It will definitely be public perception. Because brands aren't ruined overnight. They erode slowly through repeated optics that make the public uncomfortable. The internet never forgets. And once the narrative shifts from undisputed champion to emotionally competing, unstable, unhinged, downright weird, it's very hard to shift it back. And Muffin, that's what makes this unfortunate. She doesn't need to compete. She doesn't need to mirror. She doesn't need to outproduce a decade of Black love branding. But if she keeps trying to win a war against history, she may lose something much bigger. And the bigger question, the one we're going to unpack next, is whether she's being guided or whether she's being played. But you'll have to wait for the next video to see where I'm going with that. Anyway, if you like my commentary, please click like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't like it, you can still click like, you can still comment, you can still subscribe. Because you're bound to return and find something that will entertain you or be of intellectual benefit. Nyla says, and this isn't just a gossip channel. Over here, we analyze, we contextualize, and we weaponize wisdom. Because gossip is entertainment, but understanding is power. Because every scandal has a lesson. So let's get to it.
All right, well, first, if anybody on here been following when everybody learned about me and Pat from December, I will start by saying that we were private for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And I really was enjoying our private relationship, and I enjoy our relationship now. But I just find it so crazy that a lot of y'all owe me an apology. I got a video he sent me back in 2000 and was it 20 or something? So I meet somebody in 2024 who you said you ain't even been with. When I met him in July, and then after that, when you get to know a person, I knew her so we met July 6th. That's your court fight. Okay. Which is crazy. We've been together over a year and a half now. It'll be 2 years next year in September.
There's a psychological concept called protector failure. It happens when the person who is supposed to shield your reputation becomes the silent architect of its erosion. And watching this unfold, you know, the way in, the shove, the Zeus Network crossover, the whole spectacle of it all. The question isn't whether she's talented, because she is. The question is, why is the man standing beside her allowing her brand to drift from undisputed champion to reality TV headline? Because while Remy Ma is entering her mogul era, you know, with high network rankings and launching a talk show, all of this expansion, Claressa appears to be stepping into a Zeus era. And baby, that contrast does not feel accidental at all. Let's get into this mess. A real protector shields a woman from reputational damage. He doesn't co-sign it. And yet we're watching weigh-in chaos, stage drama, reality TV integration, all unfolding with his presence and endorsement. This isn't guidance. This is reputational mismanagement. There's a 17-year age gap. There is media experience on one side. There's at least a decade long of experience with Black love branding on behalf of Papoose. He did an excellent job at branding him and Remy Ma as iconic figures in the understanding of Black love dynamics. He's so good at his marketing and branding that people did not even notice what a piece of crap he was. Remy's past literally stayed in the rear view. We only thought of them in a positive light. That takes some branding genius. But where is that branding genius now? I'll tell you in a few. So again, he has all of this experience, right? And on the other side, we only have her athletic prime. That in itself creates like an asymmetrical leverage. And when asymmetrical leverage meets spectacle, the younger brand often absorbs that damage. Let me be clear. When you have an already established brand that is now merging with a newer budding brand that does not have a whole bunch of foundation, who do you think is going to take the L? While there's nothing but chaos swirling around one woman, stability is highlighting the other. Contrast in media is powerful. It makes the disciplined look even more disciplined. It makes people that are professional seem even more professional. People that are smart seem Even smarter, people that are stylish and innovative, they look even more stylish and innovative. So for me, the question becomes, is this accidental or is it strategic contrast amplification? Because let's keep it a buck, the more unpolished, unlearned, and unsophisticated Claressa presents, the more polished, the more savvy, the more beautiful Remy appears. It goes without saying that under the watchful eye of Papoose, Claressa's aesthetic shift didn't happen in a vacuum. What we're witnessing isn't coincidence, it's behavioral mirroring. There are documented receipts of Claressa asking Remy for style advice in 2022. 2 full years after she had already entered that woman's marriage via DMs. That timeline matters because it reframes this not as innocent inspiration, but as proximity-based absorption. To privately pursue a married man while simultaneously studying and consulting his wife for image guidance, and then later publicly emerge with him while slowly adopting her cadence, styling choices, and overall energy, that is not evolution, that's identity diffusion. And here's the uncomfortable question. Where was Papoose? This is a man who has historically demonstrated an acute awareness of branding and optics. He knows how to curate a narrative. He knows how to protect an image. He quite literally turned Remy's incarceration into a loyalty-driven PR campaign that elevated his own reputation while simultaneously preserving her aura. Whatever anyone thinks of that era, she moved with a visible shield around her. So why is that shield missing now? Because protection requires investment. Image stewardship requires an attachment, and you only guard what you value. So if Claressa is publicly morphing into the woman she replaced, and it's happening unchecked, then either he doesn't see it, he doesn't care, or he benefits from this chaos. And that third possibility is the most psychologically revealing. When a man allows a woman he claims to care for to unconsciously compete with a ghost, to perform an identity she didn't organically build, and to publicly diminish her own uniqueness in the process, that is not protection. That's passive erosion. Remy, regardless of anyone's feelings, moved with containment. There was mystique. There was narrative discipline. There was an aura of management. Claressa is moving in comparison mode, and comparison is always louder than confidence. The real question is not if she's mimicking or not, because the receipts already speak. The real question is why the man who once marketed himself as the architect of Black love loyalty isn't intervening now. Because when a protector goes silent, it usually means the protection was conditional. Some of her most publicly embarrassing moments, the impulsive interviews, the loud comparisons, the very reactive social media energy, it all could have absolutely been mitigated. Not erased, but managed. And that's the key word. Papoose is not new to optics. He understands containment. He understands narrative pacing. He understands how to frame a woman as dignified, protected, and positioned. So the real question isn't whether he could have guided her, it's why he did. You're telling me a man who once built an entire Black love loyalty mythology, who masterfully leveraged his wife's incarceration into a PR campaign that made him look like the gold standard of devotion, suddenly forgot how image preservation works? That does not track, Muffin. Because the very first act of protection in any controversial transition is silence. If he truly valued her brand, the relationship would have been discreet until the divorce was finalized. It would have been discreet until there was a clean break, a clean rollout, and a clean narrative. Instead, the divorce was only mentioned after Remy forced that timeline. That changes everything because now it doesn't look strategic, it looks reactive. And here's the bigger piece of pie. Why would a man who claims to care about a 2-time Olympic gold medalist allow her to be publicly framed as a side chick, a woman dating a married man, an emotional aggressor, you know, the loud comparison candidate, all of that? Why wouldn't he insist on presenting her as a disciplined, wholesome, untouchable woman? unless her public positioning benefits him more than it benefits her. See, when a man truly invests in a woman's long-term image, he thinks generationally.
That's black love every day.
Sponsorships, endorsements, legacy, media training, controlled interviews, strategic soft launches. Instead, what we've seen feels impulsive and ego-driven. That suggests one of two things, baby. He underestimates the optics, which I doubt, or he calculated that chaos would keep him relevant. And that second possibility is very uncomfortable because allowing a young champ to be seen as the other woman damages her commercial equity. That label is going to stick with her for a long time. Sponsors are risk averse, honey. Legacy sports branding thrives on discipline and focus. Remember, Layla tried to tell her, okay? The romantic scandal is not what's up. And Pap knows that, which means either he didn't prioritize her long-term positioning or he prioritized his own narrative survival first. And here's the part that nobody wants to say out loud. Sometimes a man doesn't protect a woman's image because her chaos keeps him centered. If she's defending, explaining, competing, and reacting, she's emotionally invested. And an emotional investment can feel like loyalty.
What does black love look like when it comes to you and Pap? Like when you think about how you both show up and how you guys may define that with the way that you both love each other?
I think, when you speak of like black love and what we call gold love now.
Come on, gold love. I know that one.
Yeah, because black love fades, right? Okay. You got a black shirt, you keep washing it and drying it, all of a sudden it's gray. It ain't even black no more.
Right.
But gold is always in style. Okay. Real gold don't turn brown or green.
Wait, I want gold love.
Gold love.
Okay.
Okay. So it's like, I feel like with me and Pep, we see the good in each other, and we also recognize the bad.
Right.
But something I can say is that he loves what I love. I love what he loves. I love who he loves, and he loves who I love, and that's something that brings us closer together. Even with me being a boxer, you know what I'm saying? It's like I've been taking on the world and kicking down doors and everything for a very long time. Right. And he comes in, he was like, I know you've been doing that, but you don't have to do that. Like, let me handle X, Y, and Z. We got a team to handle X, Y, and Z. You just relax and be my lady, a leader. There you go.
We love a leader.
And that's what he is. And he's also like the bigger person because I am a firecracker. Before you know it, I've been punched you in your arm. And you be like, what the hell? I'm like, what?
So you hit and think about it later. That's me too sometimes.
I'll look at him and be like, hey,
see,
keep it up. So I'm always, I try not to be on go all the time, but really I'm always on go. I'm always ready. And he's like calm. He's calm. He trying to think things through, but he also too, he got a hand problem.
This concept of gold love is simply a trauma response. It's her responding to not feeling validated, not feeling special, and her constant competition with Remy Ma and Black love. Her constant need for validation, I believe, is also strategic. It's part of the crash out. It's part of what makes her blog worthy. His lack of validation of her in comparison to how he validated Remy Ma as she goes out on the limb to brand herself in this gold love surrounding him while he's married. A lot of people make an excuse and say, hey, well, they're not divorced, so he's just trying to keep it cute. Nah, if he was trying to keep it cute, he would have her keep it cute too. But instead, he appears to be nourishing what looks like mental illness to everyone else. Now, of course, we're not her doctor, so we can't diagnose her, so we're not saying that she has this at all. But a lot of people think that she does. And I think people believe that because of her behavior and her antics. He's been around her personally for a little while now. He knows exactly what's going to position her to act a fool. So again, I ask, where is the protection of her image? Where is the protection? It is absolutely absent. Let's continue the conversation. But protection is very quiet. It's very strategic. It's proactive. And the divorce rollout alone tells us it was not proactive. It was forced. So now the real discussion becomes, was she positioned or was she being used to reposition him? That's where this psychology is going to get interesting. Now, this may be seen as a little petty, and trust me, I don't care. But let's check this out for a second. We all talked about the situation with the pink fur and all of this kind of stuff. Everybody knows that Remy is a heavy hitter in the fur game, and that Daniels Leathers has had a strategic relationship with both her and Papoose for years. But it's not just Remy and Pap. Lots of major celebrities can count themselves as brand ambassadors or, being sponsored by Daniels Leather. I'm talking about Mary J. Blige, Keisha Kaur and Gucci Mane, Fat Joe. A lot of heavy hitters wears his leathers, and they're all over his website. His huge Instagram following. This man is solidified as the furrier to the celebs. And then here comes Claressa. Now, I'm definitely not trying to shade a small business, and I do think it's great and awesome that Claressa is actually promoting a smaller brand. So don't get it twisted. I'm not shading this brand being smaller. But the optical situation where she's always comparing herself to Remy, always supposed to be so much better, really think about it. She's being promoted by a very small, unknown brand that gets their furs from Temu and Alibaba, and you want to not be compared to Remy while doing Remy-like things. Y'all don't think Pap, having been in the business, having relationship with a major furrier, couldn't have told her that we were going to clown her for that? No, he doesn't care. But again, optically, all this does is make her more corny. It makes her look more like she's trying to chase something that she can't achieve. All of this stuff, in my opinion, could possibly be strategic because she makes Remy look amazing, maybe even more strategic and polished than Remy really is. And it's at her expense.
Only in Daniels Leather you can have so many legends at the same time. So Papoose had this jacket from Jeff, like how many years ago?
Man, this is a year older, actually. What year is that?
Yeah,
2007.
So in 2007, and now he wanted us to make it smaller because, of course, you look at Papoose size now. So,
oh, man, this is like what size?
6X.
Jeff, you remember when you made this jacket?
5X. Yeah,
this we was there
like in 2000. Everybody, you could be like 120 pounds, and you still wear like a 6X. I remember people like singing. A lot of people call me and ask to make.
So we're gonna try our best to make it smaller now, right?
Yeah, no problem.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
Right?
Like a large. But listen, I allow you guys to cap. Nobody got more Jeff Henderson jackets than me. I allow y'all to do it. I got.
Okay, guys, you heard the challenge. I want to know who can compete with Papoose.
I really want to take it back. Y'all know how I used to do it, man. I mean, I love your work, brother.
Thank you, brother.
My dear followers, I said there is matching, and then there's Remy mom matching. So, just start from the. Can we start from here? Kind of come close, please, so she can see.
Sneakers.
I mean, honestly, how long does it take to come up with this look? I really want to know.
It doesn't take long. Like my closet kind of looks like this.
No. We want to know,
I'm
do you?
serious.
I see when you're walking, I'm like, what is going on?
So, I got my jacket.
Yeah, let's see the jacket.
So I got my jacket.
I'm so proud that she's wearing my label right there. Okay, go ahead.
As if I don't wear his stuff all the time, but okay. So I have my jacket, right? In my closet, my sneaker closet, like all my sneakers is lined up. So I just go to the section where yellow is and I see which one matches.
For the time, we ask you how long it takes.
About 12 minutes maybe?
I want to know if you guys believe that 12 minutes or not.
What?
So Papoose has been working with this furrier with all of these celebrities for all these years, and he could not secure his boo a better brand deal. I mean, after all, she is the champ. This is embarrassing. It literally is exactly what it looks like. It is this man allowing her to chase Remy as a brand, but at her own expense. Again, this just makes Remy look even more cool, even more collected, even more desirable, even more professional. This literally makes her look like the winner. And shout out to Paps for helping Remy win again. And now we have the Zeus pivot, the Zeus orbit, if you will. And it's quite fascinating, baby, because on one hand, she is supposed to be the role model for Black girls. And you know how she tries to shade Remy, saying, you know, I've never been to jail and all this kind of stuff. But she's literally positioning herself to be around people that go to jail. So on one hand, she's like, oh yeah, I'm the example. I'm Little Miss Wholesome, Olympic gold medalist. And on the other hand, she wants to give hood rat. So I don't know how many identities she is choosing to promote at one time, but I lost count. So the loudest version of her, though, isn't Olympic excellence. It's literally side chick drama. There's this concept, it's called identity foreclosure. And this is when someone prematurely locks into an identity that isn't fully integrated. And it's literally because it feels validating in the moment. So she will shapeshift into anything that she feels is popular or makes sense for the time. So sometimes people chase the version of themselves that gets attention faster than the version that builds legacy. And Zeus offers that fast validation. The Olympics built very slow credibility, in her mind anyway. And those are not the same dopamine cycles, okay? Clearly, the Zeus shit is what she wants.
Even if you take the gloves off and me and Tasiki was to fight, she'd be mad to tell after I would break every bone in that girl's face.
Oh my gosh.
Let's be real.
That,
And like, I wouldn't even, and then it would be so unfair because how I would slam her, because I've done MMA, it'd be crazy. Like, stop playing.
Would you go back to MMA?
MMA is done.
Okay.
But the fact that I can do all of that, like, this is not like I'm not a regular
I'm
woman.
aware. I'm aware.
right.
Like, I may look, I think I carry everything pretty feminine and cute, but girl, I can bench 185 pounds. What are we talking about? I can deadlift almost 300 pounds. Like, I am a very fit and strong woman, and I have a problem with disrespect. That's why I responded to her. I'm like, hold on. And because you kicking ass on baddies, which she do be kicking ass on baddies. Shout out to her.
Oh, so she got hands. You seen she got hands?
She got hands for the girls on baddies, for sure.
Yeah.
She beat
They're
them
not
girls
professional
up.
boxers.
No, for sure.
So clearly the champ aspired to be on one of the most ratchet networks to date. She doesn't care that she's an Olympic gold medalist. She doesn't care that she's propping herself up as a role model. She wants this. And guess who's going to sit by and watch this marketing disaster come into fruition? Papoose. And again, remember, Papoose is not new to this marketing. He knows exactly what he's doing. Let's talk a little bit further. While Remy is launching her own network, climbing into executive positioning, and stepping into talk show mogul energy, Claressa lands on Zeus. The contrast is almost cinematic. One woman ascends into ownership and vertical control of distribution. The other enters a platform built on horizontal conflict and short-term spectacle. And the timing, simultaneously, that's what makes it psychologically fascinating, because in branding, contrast creates hierarchy, baby. When two narratives unfold at the same damn time, the audience subconsciously ranks them. It's called comparative framing. Perception is shaped not by what you are, but by what you are next to. And Remy is next to ownership, executive producer energy, talk show host, platform builder. Claressa is a reality spectacle orbit energy right now, relationship controversy, emotional validity. You know she cannot stop going in on bloggers. That contrast does half the marketing for Remy. Now, here's where the shade gets clinical, baby. There's a concept in behavioral economics called relative positioning theory. Your perceived value increases when your competitor's positioning declines. Elevation and degradation don't have to be orchestrated, but when they happen in sync, like it's happening now, baby, it looks so intentional. Which brings us to him. If Papoose is truly a marketing tactician, and history suggests he understands narrative timing, then this parallel is definitely not unintentional. And look, it's an unbelievable coincidence that she goes to Zeus Network as Remy continues to expand and build Remy Network. Okay. This is either a crazy coincidence or a masterclass in indirect brand warfare, because the optics right now create a clean psychological binary. Remy is the mogul, Claressa is the emotional regression. And us humans, we love binaries. Now, let's get a little bit uncomfortable. If Claressa is currently the primary earner in that dynamic, you know, the meal ticket, and her reputation is absorbing public turbulence, then Muffin, there's a darker psychological pattern called reputation transfer sacrifice. And that's when one partner's public credibility absorbs the fallout of another's imagery set. If Remy rises in authority and composure, while Claressa becomes synonymous with spectacle, guess who gets to quietly reposition himself between both narratives? Yeah, Papoose, the man in the middle. He doesn't have to announce anything either. The contrast between both those women markets itself. And here's where we nail it in the coffin. If he truly prioritized Claressa's long-term legacy, he would be tightening her brand, not loosening it. Because Zeus is not legacy positioning, it's attention positioning. And attention is the lowest tier of power. Ownership is the highest. Remy just stepped into ownership. Claressa stepped into exposure. That's not equal. Now let's talk psychology of degradation versus elevation. You got one woman visibly building infrastructure, and you have another woman defending how people perceive her relationship with that woman's husband. See, all of us in the audience, we're going to assign a hierarchy. We're going to assign a competence level. We can't help it. It's human nature. And what happens is Remy and someone else gets to recalibrate their status. And I don't know if it's intentional for sure, but it happening simultaneously, this literally recalibrates Remy's status in her favor. And the most dangerous part of it all, this is all happening without Remy saying a word. Okay? Remy has the best hand. Meanwhile, Claressa is speaking, reacting, running off at the mouth, explaining, campaigning, and trying to validate her existence. And explanation mode is lower status than execution mode. That's branding 101. Baby, the question now becomes, is Claressa aware that her current moves are strengthening the very contrast that elevates the woman that she thinks she's replaced? Because if Papoose understands marketing at this level, history does suggest that he does, that means that this contrast between her and Remy, where Remy looks like the dopest chick ever and Claressa looks like a desperate attention-seeking weirdo, it's very useful. And usefulness in marketing is rarely emotional. It's always strategic.
That whole rapper thing, I don't know. I think when God was mapping out my life, somebody messed up the cards and they knew it was something with dealing with the people and talking. But it's okay. We're going to get there because I got my own TV show and it's going to be on the Remy Network. Yep. I got my own talk show coming to the Remy Network. And yeah, you guys will be able to sit here and see me in all my glory, delivering the news and the gossip and different type of things that we can make and things that you need just to make your life a greater and better place. It'll be brought to you by the Remy Network, featuring Reminisce, me, Real Talk with Reminisce. Or should I call it Real Talk with Remy? Or should I just call it Reminisce? I don't know. Let me know what you guys think.
And for the record, nobody is questioning Claressa's athletic greatness. Honey, it's documented. She earned it. It's literally historical at this point. But what's being questioned is the positioning, because at the exact moment one woman ascends into ownership, executive energy, and infrastructure building, the other one is trending for being weird. And whether intentional or incidental, the contrast is doing more marketing than any press release ever could. If Papoose is truly the branding person that he's been marketed as, then he understands comparative framing. He understands that elevation looks even higher when something looks lower. So the real question isn't, is Zeus a good move? The real question is, what does this move benefit long term? Because again, legacy is quiet, but a Zeus spectacle is very loud. Ownership, it compounds, right? It grows, it elevates, but attention eventually is going to burn. And if one woman is building an empire and the other one is continuously defending perception, somebody somewhere understands timing at a very masterful level. The only thing left to determine is whether Claressa is the architect of her narrative or the asset inside someone else's. And that is where the psychology gets dangerous. And if you like my commentary, please click like, comment, and subscribe. And if you don't like it, you could still comment, you can still subscribe, because you're bound to return and find something that will entertain you or be of intellectual benefit. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section. I really want to know. Do you think this is strategic? Do you think Pap knows that he is only helping Remy look even better, smoother, more polished, more professional, more innovative, more creative as Claressa goes on Zeus Network like a common hood booger? Let me know down in the comment section.
Man, yeah, whoop our ass. Some of the greatest whoopings I've ever had came from Terry Brooks. I'm telling you that right now. Some of the greatest whoopings I ever had came from him. And like I said, it made me a better man.
You said something very interesting. It's like, how did your parents prepare you for the real world? And your dad, you said, preparing you to be a man, knowing that at someday you're gonna leave this home, you're gonna have your own family, you're gonna be out there in the real world. Yeah. And I've got to teach you enough that when you're away from here, you'll know right from wrong, you'll do right from wrong, even though I'm not standing over your shoulder.
You know what? With my dad was the little things, like I just said. We asked him for $20. I ain't got it. And I feel like that taught me, like, hey, ain't nobody gonna give you nothing. If I can't get it from the man that created me,
right,